Hey Kim, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
First, I want to thank Equipment Zone for having us both out to talk about, I guess, one of our pride and joys right here, the F2270.
That's right.
But let's first kind of tell everybody about, I know a lot of people get kind of scared when they hear DTG, but let's talk about the maintenance of the printer and how easy it is to maintain.
So I'm glad you asked that. So a lot of people ask us about maintenance, how easy it is to maintain, what features are built in that help minimize the actual user maintenance that's required. So let's talk about some of those things. So number one, first and foremost, there's auto maintenance features built in that allow the user to run the printer and maximize their uptime and minimize the amount of time that they have to spend cleaning around print heads and things like that. One of the things that we're popular and famous for is our fabric wiper system. So it's a lint-free cloth that essentially wipes the bottom of the print head, the entire surface area. So the print head looks clean and spotless, and it's ready for you anytime you need to use it. But another thing that's really cool is we have what's called maintenance liquid. And so the maintenance liquid helps facilitate the various auto maintenance features like cleaning the suction cap, as well as getting cleaning liquid into the print heads to prevent nozzles from clogging. Now, if all of that wasn't cool enough, we also have nozzle verification technology, and the printer detects each and every nozzle in real time. So think of like the shower head in your shower. If one of those isn't jetting out water, what does it do? Well, the shower head does nothing, but the printer says, hey, this one's not working. I'm going to use the one next to it, fire a little bit bigger dot to make up for it. The benefit of that for the user is you don't have to stop your machine to perform cleanings. You keep running your production and the printer will take care of itself. And then also in between jobs, if there's more nozzles that become clogged, it will actively clean them while you're unloading the shirt you just printed and you're getting the next one ready. So it's really built for a production environment, but also for newer users trying to dip their feet into DTG and DTF, and they want the path of least resistance.
And one thing I'd like to tell everybody is I spend maybe 3 minutes a week, and as Paul knows, I go above and beyond on all my printers, and they're spotless inside. But I spend maybe about 3 minutes a week maintaining and just doing little extra things that need to be done on our end. So just kind of let people know that you still got to do some things on our end as well, but pretty much the printer contains and takes care of itself.
That's right. So we still recommend once a week, you want to clean out your suction cap, and about once a month, wipe around the print head. But believe it or not, your daily maintenance
It's shaking up.
is we take our white ink packs out, and there's actually two of them. We give it a little rock back and forth, and you can see I can actually take them both out at the same time and do them together to save some time. And then we just pop these back in. We print our nozzle check, and guess what? We're done. That's our daily maintenance right there.
Yeah, and also to keep in mind, I've been having a couple of the 2270s now. I'm able to leave town and go back home and visit and leave my printer off for a week or two, come back, and I still have a perfect nozzle check.
That's a great point. So if you're going out of town or if you have seasonal work, you need to shut the printer down for a little bit, you can certainly do so. And if you're going to have the printer down for more than a month at a time, we have a new, we have a existing feature called our storage mode.
Yep.
And this will let you put cleaning packs into the ink lines, but you can also decide to do that for just the white ink channel. So for example, if I'm just printing a bunch of white shirts and I don't need the white ink, or I'm shutting my printer down for a while, I can put cleaning packs in just my white ink slots. And then when I'm ready to print with white ink again, I can switch it back to white ink mode. But like I said, if I need to shut the printer down for more than a month, I can put it in storage mode. I'll put cleaning packs on each slot. And then when I'm ready to print again, I just take the ink back out, pop it back in, let the printer do its thing. And then in about 25, 30 minutes, it's back up and running and ready to use.
Perfect. Hey, Paul, let's show them how easy it is to let's print a t-shirt, and then let's show them how easy it is to print some DTF.
All right, that sounds good.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, let's do
Let's
it.
go ahead and get the moisture out of the shirt. I don't know if I did that. So
All right, no worries.
I'm going to tap it. And so all we're going to do here is get the moisture out of the shirt. We just press it for probably 15, 20 seconds, and then we will load it on the printer.
This one doesn't auto lock, right? I can pick it
No,
up
just pop it
whenever.
open.
Okay.
Let's watch your face.
Hey, that was about 15 seconds right there. And I see you have the grip pad on here,
I
which
do.
is nice. So These platens will come bare without the grip pad, but the grip pad has a little adhesive back liner that you can peel back and then you can apply it on here. And the grip pad is actually great if I'm doing all sorts of different types of shirts, but not just limited to shirts. I can use it for hoodies, anything with a big pocket, or any thick fleece type of material. The great part about the grip pad, and you'll see when we load this shirt, is it actually smooths my printed surface area. So I have a nice, smooth, even area to print on. So we would slide our shirt all the way down. We use our quick load hanger platen to line everything up straight. So you can see now I know my shirt is straight and square. And at this point, I grab my shoulder seams and I pull the shirt back so the collar falls off. And as you can see, when I do that, the grip pad doesn't stretch the shirt, but it lays it out nice and smooth, almost as if I'm laying a blanket on top of a mattress. So nice and smooth, no wrinkles. The other cool part about this machine is there are garment sensors right underneath this hood here. So when we send a print, you can see now Kim has sent a job from the Garment Creator 2 software. It's available to download for free, works on Mac and PC. Our image is shown right here on the screen, and I can see we have a dark shirt mode, or in this case, a black t-shirt. And then my print button right here on the side lights up. So you actually can't see it from this camera angle, but I have a big blue button. It lights up. And when I press this button, it's going to go into the machine. And while it's doing that, these sensors are detecting whatever's loaded on the platen. So if I have a hoodie with a front pocket or a polo shirt with an upper chest pocket, or really anything else in between, those sensors are detecting exactly what's loaded on there. And it's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to adjust the print head to the appropriate distance so we don't get head strikes. But also, number two, it's going to ensure that I have the smoothest and best and sharpest print quality on the high and low areas. In other words, if I have a pocket hoodie and I want the graphic to begin on the chest, but then continue onto the pocket in one seamless print, the garment thickness optimization sensors enable me to do that. And it is so easy in just loading the garment, pressing the print button, and then letting the printer do the rest of the work.
That's awesome, Paul. And one of my favorite features is obviously having a production shop and selling to various organizations is how easy it is to print DTG. And then if I want to upsell it and do a hat, koozies or whatever, how easy it is to switch from doing DTG to DTF within just 2 clicks, basically.
Absolutely.
On your software. So
yeah, that's a really great point by Kim there. So within the software, with the same file that I have loaded, I can simply click from the t-shirt button to the film button. The software will adjust all of my settings accordingly. And then at that point, all I need to do is switch from my shirt to my film or from my film to my shirt. And because the sensors detect what's on there, the printer understands if I have a sheet of film loaded versus if I have a shirt loaded. But I don't have to specify on the printer anywhere. It's all done in the software, like you said, with just a couple of clicks.
yeah, and that's so nice. But just let people know at this point, the shirt went inside the printer. It printed white. And now I did like a 30-second dry time. Then now it'll go back inside the printer and print it CMYK.
So there's multiple options that a user can control with how this prints. So you can print with your white layer and then your color layer. You can go back and forth instantly. You can also add a little bit of dry time like we've done here. So if, let's say you're doing heavy coverage of white, you want extra opacity, extra bright colors. You can also do a double strike of white. You can have the printer do 3 passes. So there's a multitude of different print modes built right into the software that lets you choose exactly what you need to best suit your customer's needs. And the best part about that is if you have particular settings that you like and you use often, you can save them as a preset. So next time you need to run those jobs, it's a simple 1 click. All your settings are already preloaded. And then now you're just loading shirts and off you go.
No, it's definitely a great feature.
So right now you can't see from your angle, but through the clear cover, which you can see, we're printing the CMYK color layer. So the CMYK print speed will be very quick. If we were doing white t-shirts only, you can get about 40 to 50 white shirts per hour, and that's a full coverage. we're printing on a 14 by 16 platen. If we're doing dark shirts with a white underbase and color on top, you're getting about 20 to 25 dark shirts per hour. So this print is just about done here, and we'll hold it up so everybody can take a peek. All right, you can do the honors, Kim. And there it is. And she's going to bring it up close so everyone can take a look. So nice, bright, vibrant colors. You can see the white is really shining through there. And we also do what's called a highlight white. So we have a white underbase, then we have the CMYK colors, but also in some of these areas where I have white as part of my finished graphic, our garment creator software applies what's called the highlight white. So it will print white with CMYK on that last pass so that we get that extra vibrant and, as its name implies, a highlighted white appearance.
All right.
That looks great, Kim. Let's go ahead and press it. And if you'd like to talk about what you're going to be laying on top of here so that they can see what we're doing.
So at this point, what we would do is we load it back onto the press. We put a silicone parchment paper, and just the main thing is to make sure it is silicone. And we are going to cure it for 90 seconds. And then after that, you're all done. We go on to the next. So at this point, what I would do while this is curing, I would go ahead and get ready for my next job, my next print, or a good time for us to print some DTF.
That's right. Yeah, let's do it.
We want to grab, if you want to grab some DTF, that second drawer.
And okay.
No,
this one here?
Yeah,
Okay.
And again, we're gonna press 2 buttons on the garment creator. And I already have my favorite settings down. So I'm gonna hit print. And now we are ready.
All right. And so as we mentioned earlier, all Kim needed to do was there's 2 buttons at the top of garment creator. One says shirt, one says film.
Yep.
Click on what you're trying to do, load your design, and off you go.
And at this point, it's going to print your CMYK first, then go back and print your white.
Exactly. And so when you do that, when you click on from shirt to film, it actually changes the order that the ink is being printed. Because we're creating a transfer, we need to print our colors first, followed by the white behind it. And that is what the powder is going to stick to. So rather than having to go back into our artwork or create spot colors or change anything else, we can use that same image and simply click that one button at the top of Garment Creator. And that's what we tried to do. We tried to make it easy so that you can get your work done.
And one thing we did not show during this is there is a vacuum platen, and we could do one that actually has a vacuum underneath. It's a platen just like this. It has a vacuum underneath that helps suction the film down so that you don't get no movement, which I love. I consider that a luxury item in my shop with a powder shaker.
Yeah.
It's 2 of my favorite items that go along with the 2270.
And for reference, since I'm standing closest to it, I'll just hold it up for everybody to see. So this is made by a company called Livingston Systems, and they've been making specialty platens for our DTG equipment ever since our first generation, our F2000 printer. And so you can see there's a little battery pack with a vacuum tube. And when we turned this on, this now becomes a vacuum platen. So if the majority of my work is DTF, this definitely makes life easy. We don't have to tape anything down. We don't have to spray water and have the film stick to the platen. We can load it right on here. But what else is cool is they machined this to be the same height as our standard platen. So if I need to sneak in a shirt every once in a while, I don't need to switch back to this platen over here. I can keep this vacuum platen on, place a shirt right on top of it, and then it'll still work. And that makes it easy if I need to switch back to DTF. So if I'm doing, let's say every 10 jobs, 9's DTF and 1 is a t-shirt, I'll just leave this on for the entire day and make life easy.
Definitely. And what's nice also, it's the largest film you can get, 16 by 20. So you could gang up multiple images. And one thing I like to learn, I do on my jobs is if I just have 2 images, I will go ahead and throw multiple images on here that I use periodically, such as my logo or anything that I could apply. So I'm not wasting any film. I can just go ahead and gang it up and makes everything useful.
That's a great way of doing it, yeah. And there's different vacuum zones depending on the size of film that you're using. So as Kim mentioned, 16 by 20 being the largest size. we can just slide this over, and then now we have our vacuum zone holding down that entire 16 by 20 piece of film. For anybody that will be at the Printing United show in a couple of weeks in Orlando, Florida, in the Epson booth, where you will actually have a Livingston Systems vacuum platen, just like this one, on our F2270. So if somebody wanted to see an up close and personal demonstration, just come find me in the booth.
Sounds good. Thanks, Paul.
Absolutely. So one of the obvious benefits of DTF is I can get my printed graphics onto just about any item that would otherwise be difficult to pre-treat and print directly onto the machine. So if we're talking about hats, shoes, backpacks, tote bags, but you can also sell the transfers to your customers and they can use an iron that they have at home, and then they can simply iron the graphics on as well. So it makes having a hybrid DTG and DTF printer versatile to cover essentially all of your garment decorating needs.
Definitely. And that's one benefit that I use. And what's nice is you could have a customer right in front of you and say, hey, let me show you exactly what your design's going to look like on a hat. And I will print off some transfers, apply it to a hat, koozie, even a bag, a paper bag. And that's what I do with all my orders. I actually have my Paisley Jo logo on a white paper bag, and that's what I give to my customers. And it's printed with the 2270.
That's awesome. One other thing that's very useful is built right into Garment Creator, we have a cost calculator. So if you're printing, let's say, for example, DTG shirts for your customer, and now they are requesting to have hats done, and they want to know, well, what is the cost for a hat? Well, you can actually load the image files into Garment Creator, choose your film settings, and then you can calculate exactly how much ink is going to be used without having to physically print anything. So this is an effective tool to allow you to calculate how much ink you need, say if you have a large print run, or if you're trying to price out particular jobs or work. This is an easy way of doing so without having to print anything.
Okay. And it's
so it looks like our DTF print's done. So I'm going to switch spots with Kim and let her show you the rest of this process.
At this point, I'm going to go over here to the powder shaker, which I consider this also a luxury item, one that I cannot do without now. I'm going to adjust these tabs here, and you can actually adjust the powder shaker to whichever size film you're going to use. I'm going to load my film in and shut it, and then I do it twice. If you take the lever and go push it up, it actually releases the powder. So if you saw the powder fall, and then I'm going to push it down, it's going to actually start the motor, which shakes the powder off. We're going to, now that I got the powder on, I kind of just shake. There's a little bit extra on there. I'm going to go ahead and load it into the Easy Cure. And it's going to cure for about 70 seconds. And then we have our DTF transfer.
Awesome. And wait. And for those of you in the other building, if you look directly behind where Amy is standing, you can see for size reference the same equipment that we're using here. Thank you, Amy. So Kim, if you had to narrow it down to maybe one or two things on what you like about DTF, and specifically this process, what would you say that is?
Again, I like how it's easy to upsell any order that you have, and you can do it right there in front of your customer. But I think the nice thing is you're able to do it within your shop, even just not even having the bigger DTF printer. I'm able to do it right here. And also, I would say probably my favorite is the luxury items. The printer is absolutely my favorite, Paul, but the luxury items, having the platen right there, and I never have to worry about my film moving, where then it gets all offline. And then obviously the powder shaker, you don't have to really come in contact with the powder at all, which is kind of a health, safety issue within
Absolutely.
the shop.
When the transfer is done in the oven, it would then be ready for you to apply onto a garment and then use a heat press to transfer it. We're going to pass it back over to Terry, but certainly appreciate everyone's time and taking a look and joining us over here.